It's absolutely fantastic here inside Ellen Road. Can you call it, Lucy? I mean, I would make Leeds United favourites. They are playing at home. But as we point out, we look at the form of both these sides. Neither has been at their fluent best. To find a rhythm here this evening under intense pressure, how do these players rise to that occasion? Yeah,
it's very, very difficult. You've got to have both sets of players have got to have the right mentality, and they've got to try and cut out the noise. If they're going to use the noise, use it in a positive way. But a lot of the time, it's a really, really heavy shirt, this Leeds shirt, and they are the favourites, I would say. They've been the better team of the two throughout the season, but Norwich have been good since January, and so with a good game plan, anything can happen.
It is a magnificent scene here inside Ellen Road. 35,000 Leeds fans with those scarves now held across themselves, and above their heads it is an ocean of white, and that green square, that playing field in the middle of it, that's all I can see, white and green, as these players prepare to come out onto the pitch. And obviously we want a bit of 90s house music to go along with it, just to get the party going. They want to be celebrating here this evening, but you have to make it very, very clear, if Leeds United are not promoted to the Premier League this year, this is going to be a very different place.
Yes, this is a problem for them, and that's it. I mean, they were wise last summer in terms of the transfers, recouping money, getting Championship players. But it's a whole different ball game if they're going into the Championship next season.
Lucy, I'd love to have heard what you just said, but
it was rubbish, don't worry.
But the players have just come out onto the pitch, and the noise is absolutely unbelievable. After 47 games now battling to earn a place in the Premier League, one of these two teams will fall at the penultimate hurdle. Leeds United, 5 failed EFL playoff campaigns out of 5. Will they break the curse this year? Or will West Bromwich Albion remind us of or will Norwich City remind us of their ambitions to be a Premier League side once again? It's going to be an absolutely cracking evening here. Live on the Talksport network, it is Leeds United against Norwich City with former Leeds United forward Lucy Ward and Talksport's Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Hugh, and good evening to you. Yes, we're one of the teams at all ends here in West Yorkshire tonight. 9 months of work distilled down to 90 minutes. Misery guaranteed for one, for the other. The chance to win the golden ticket, only a second trip to Wembley in the 21st century. It's more than 20 years since two sides met in the Championship playoffs, who'd finished further apart than Leeds and Norwich, but they start dead level tonight. The bookies think they're anything but equal, but the 17-point gap between the two is highly significant, and the Canaries' away struggles will more than play a part. But with expectation comes pressure. Leeds' form went right off the boil at the end of the season. They have a poor playoff record. They have to make sure they're only playing the opposition and not the occasion tonight. While Leeds United have Ilan Melier in goal, Archie Gray back at right back tonight, Roden alongside Ampadu at centre-half, Junior Firpo at left back, Gruev and Kamara in midfield, Nyonto, Ruta and Somerville, and Joel Peru up front. So the one change, Sam Byram out with a hip flexor injury. That means that Archie Gray goes back to right back. Now, Archie's played a lot of his football as a right back, but what does that take away further up the field when he's there?
Yeah, I mean, Archie Gray is a centre midfielder, but I think it just the high stead that Farker holds him is that he sometimes leaves out more experienced players to play him right back, so he just wants him on the pitch and getting involved. But I do think they just need a little bit more going forward, and I think that's why he's put Peru in tonight.
Angus Gunn is in goal for Norwich. It's a back four of Stacey, Duffy, Gibson and Yanulis. Sara, who played up front in the first leg, plays on the right wing tonight. John Rowe on the left. Nunez and McLean in the centre of midfield. And the change is made to get Ashley Barnes back in the side. Barnes, who's been out with a calf problem for nearly 3 weeks. He plays tonight. Has to be an element of risk that is the case. And he partners Josh Sargent up front, likely to play just off in the benches for Leeds. Cresswell, Cooper, Anthony, Shackleton, James, Gelhardt, Roberts, Joseph and Darlow. For Norwich, Hanley, Boyer, Sainz, Van Hooijdonk, McCallum, Fasnacht, Sorensen, Bart, Fisher and Long. May playoff nights where seasons are at a crossroads. One route leading to Wembley, the other into a cul-de-sac ahead of a U-turn where the sat-nav is set for Watford, Plymouth and Portsmouth. Both Leeds and Norwich know exactly what they're missing. They've got 90 minutes to keep the dream alive. These are the nights for players to make themselves heroes. The nights the fans never forget. The nights Talksport was made for. Leeds in all white, kicking from left to right. Norwich yellow shirts and green shorts, and they're defending the Norman Hunter stand away to our right-hand side, attacking the Don Revie stand. Now the ball is through for Gunn, who picks it up inside his penalty area, constantly on the move. He's trotted basically over about 2/3 of the blades of grass in that penalty area before dispensing with the ball upfield. Looking for Ashley Barnes, beaten by Ampadu. And Norwich are able to pick it up at the back with Sarah. The pressure on Norwich from the Leeds press, but Peru can't get there ahead of Angus Gunn. Pump forward this time towards Sargent, who's beaten by Roden. It's interesting that Barnes so far trying to isolate himself against Joe Roden as Gruev shepherds the ball back to his goalkeeper, and Melier will come out and pick it up. A minute in which Norwich have tried to already start frustrating the Leeds United crowd, and then by proxy the players as well, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, if team success was relied on with the crowd, then Leeds will be top of the Premier League. It doesn't work like that. They've still got to perform. You know, Norwich have got a job to do coming here. It's difficult coming to Ellen Road, but the first thing you do is you don't shy away from the noise, and you make sure you try and use the crowd against this Leeds team. And a few teams have done it. They've been frustrated a lot this season, but they've tended to come through, and the juggernaut of the home form has shown that. But this is different gravy tonight. This is right at the top of the Championship, and this is do or die.
Well, I was fortunate to be here for the game against Leicester. I thought that the atmosphere for that game was as good as I've seen Ellen Road for years. I think it's even better tonight. But certainly the welcome that the players were given was on a completely different level. But it's the 22 men on the field rather than the 38,000 here at Ellen Road that have got to try and win the game for their respective sides. Jack Stacey, a player with plenty of playoff experience in the past, taking a throw for Norwich. Thrown forward towards halfway. Looked as though Barnes was given a shove. Felt a little bit of contact in his back and went to ground. Jared Gillett, the referee, allows play to continue. And Gruev will play it forward for Leeds, who are still inside their own half. Here on Talksport, where we're a couple of minutes in. Still Leeds 0, Norwich 0. And 0-0 on aggregate between the two sides as well, after a very sterile first leg, which saw only 3 shots on target between the two teams. Leeds had 60% possession in that game. They'll possibly expect even a little bit more than that tonight. They've got a free kick here. Foul by Nunez on Roden on halfway. And Leeds have taken the free kick quickly. Kamara working the ball between the legs of Somerville, who receives it now from Junior Firpo. He'll try and get him past Sarah, and has done that, and he's inside the penalty area towards the edge of the 6-yard box. The angle is tight. He fires over the bar. First sight of goal to Leeds United. It's 0-0 with 3.5 gone.
Yeah, Somerville is the threat, isn't he, down that left-hand side, and he manages to come out with the ball in the quick 1-2, but everything about that was quick, and then he needed to slow himself down right at the end to take the shot. Just didn't really have enough chill in his veins. It's a wild shot, really. I think he might have got a tip as well, the goalkeeper.
He scored a couple of goals at Carrow Road back in October, 2 of the 20 that he scored this season. Cree Somerville, he is Leeds' top scorer. Angus Gunn wasting a few seconds before restarting play. And ball very quickly back with Leeds, but inside their own half. And that time wasting and match management will be a part of the Norwich tactics tonight. And I'll reiterate my stance on it for what it's worth. It is part of the game. I would want my side doing exactly the same under those circumstances. So I will refer to it happening, but it's not a criticism. Gunn coming out here and claims the ball well, and throwing himself at it on the edge of the penalty area. You're the away side. You need to take every potential advantage you can, and you need the ball in play for as few minutes as possible.
Absolutely, Jim, you're completely right. And Norwich have set up so out of possession they're like a 4-4-2, but when they've got it, the goalkeeper's really brave. He tries to encourage the press, which he gets from Leeds, and I think 3 times out of 3 he's played it long, so he's trying to dip it into either Sargent or Barnes, who are going to be key in terms of the ball sticking tonight, because Leeds like to play in the opposition's half.
Now Somerville able to turn, and he will run at this Norwich City back line. Then he's found Jorginho Ruta onto his right foot, then his left. Shot came in, it was blocked easily by Kenny McLean. Cleared again out towards Ruta on the edge of the Norwich City penalty area. Worked by Gnonto down the line, but couldn't get the angle right and was easily cut out. Norwich now will be able to bring it away from the edge of their own penalty area, although a stumble from Rowe just allowed Roden to seize upon it. He then plays the ball forward, and in doing so is caught by Nunez. It was an overhit pass, but Nunez caught him late. And it's a free kick to Leeds, about 7 or 8 yards outside the Norwich City penalty area, right of centre. Yeah, well, exactly how we thought that Leeds would start, playing up the pitch, trying to play in right at the edge of Norwich's box. And a couple of times Norwich had an opportunity. When they win the ball back, that first pass has to be good. There was room on the right, and they didn't make it, and all of a sudden now they've had to foul and conceded a set piece not far from the edge of the box. Well, realistically, it's not quite in a position to shoot. Gruev and Somerville, the two players that stand over this. Gruev towering above the winger, who's got his black gloves on tonight. Somerville runs over the ball. Gruev taking it. Has gone for goal! Oh, brilliant! That is majestic. What a strike from Gruev. Everybody expecting the ball to be teased inside the penalty area, but instead he's worked it past the wall and into the bottom right-hand corner. Gunn saw what was happening, but he couldn't get there in time. Goalless in East Anglia, but leaves a goal up inside 6.5 minutes tonight. Yeah, really clever set piece. So it's on the right-hand side as we look at it, and the left-footed Gruev, he just sneaks it in. To be fair to Gunn, he wasn't really paying attention. He's shouting at his wall, and he's expecting it like you say, but he doesn't react quick enough. You can see him, and maybe the wall's in his way, but that's a really cleverly worked free kick, and it's obviously one that practice because of the way they celebrated with the bench. Well, having seen the replay, Gunn lined up a two-man wall, and as we're looking at it, the man on the right of the two split early, and he's played it round the left of the left-hand man, and it's still crept in the near post. So whether that means that the wall was in the wrong position, I don't know. But the bottom line is Leeds lead by a goal to nil. And they'll be able to bring the ball forward here with Peru to Gray, and then Gnonto is tackled, but Giannoulis concedes a corner, and Norwich are really under the cosh. 8 gone, already a goal down on the night and on aggregate. Yeah, this is exactly what Norwich didn't want, exactly what Leeds wanted, and I just think that teams can get absolutely rolled over by Leeds when they start quickly and get a goal. It's about frustrating them, but they've got to keep the calm. Norwich, long way to go. Well, Gruev scored from one set piece. He takes this corner. It's a little flick header at the near post that's cleared. It comes back out towards Gruev again. Working across the edge of the penalty area for Somerville. Somerville back for Gnonto. He's gone behind square for Gray. Deepest lying of Leeds outfield players plays it ahead of him to the Finnish international Glenn Kamara. And Kamara out towards Junior Firpo on the left. Norwich laying a foothold in the game in the opening 2-3 minutes, trying to frustrate Leeds, but Leeds have really built up a head of steam, and they've got such a good record this season in matches in which they've scored first. 22 championship games in which they've taken the lead, and they've held on to win 20 of them, which is an outstanding return. Yeah, Jim, it's just not sticky for Norwich. As soon as they get the ball, the first pass out, they sort of panicking. It's not sticking. It got to Sargent, and then Leeds have possession again, and it's the same cycle of play, the same pattern of play. They're playing up the pitch. They've got 1, 2, 3, 6 players in that forward line at one point when you look, and just the 2 centre backs. It's really putting Norwich under pressure. Norwich chasing shadows at the moment. Ethan Ampadu able to bring the ball forward here. You're with Talksport. Leeds lead Norwich by a goal to nil. And even if nothing happens for the rest of the night, it's already been a better second leg than the first. Absolutely. The ball is back with Meslier inside the D, because there's been something to talk about that's not a controversial refereeing decision. Kamara flicking it on. Somerville pulling it down. Firpo has it now. It's 5 yards in for the left-hand touchline. Somerville just losing out. Well challenged there by Stacey. And Sarah, over on the Norwich right, will flick it infield for Ashley Barnes. And Norwich have a throw on halfway. You're listening to Leeds against Norwich in the EFL Championship playoff semi-final. And our coverage on Talksport brought to you with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I'll tell you what, one thing Norwich have not managed to do is have Leeds defenders facing their own goal, not really put them under pressure, not even a ball over the top and, running back. They've not really had, this is the first bit, I think probably 30 seconds now of a bit of composed possession where they're just getting a feel of the ball. And how far are we into the game? Over 10 minutes into the game, and this is the first time they've had any sort of passes together.
And Sarah picking the ball up in the centre of midfield. He works it out towards the right-hand side. Stacey trying to get there. Did so ahead of Junior Firpo, but it bobbled off him, really. And his second touch is a recovering challenge, and a quite brilliant one. Sensational interception. Ball worked inside the Leeds box, but behind Johnny Rowe. And Leeds will be able to bring it away. Great turn by Peru. Got the better of Ben Gibson. Peru bringing it through the centre circle. Somerville's offside. And it's a free kick to Norwich midway inside their own half. That was much better from Norwich, though. The first even remotely fluent passing move we've seen. Yeah,
the passage of play. They managed to get sort of 4 or 5 players in the box, and that's the only problem. The problem with playing against Leeds like that is that's where they can hurt you. But they just made a mess of the final pass. But you can see when you do put Leeds under pressure, they allow you, they drop, deny space, and they allow you back into the penalty area.
The Leeds fans stand to applaud and remember one of their own, Robert Hisco. The Leeds United supporter is the image on the big screen. And it's something that this club do particularly well. And remembering fallen Leeds United supporters, and our thoughts at this time with Robert's family and friends. Free kick by Norwich taken quickly. Yanulis is onside, left-hand side of the penalty area, wins the corner with a cross that deflects back off Archie Gray.
There's some positives to Norwich in the response to going behind, but they're probably not going to get that many of them, so have to make the most of them. They've got a corner now, a set piece, so can they work their set piece just as well as Leeds did?
Nunez is the man that's going to come across to take it. Marcelino Nunez, who scored the winner against Ipswich last month, the Chilean international. Very deliberately places the ball down in the quadrant, and it's a real crowd scene inside the 6-yard box. About 15 players in there. It's looking for a near post flick. It was easily cleared though by Ruta. And towards Yanulis, and he works it back down the left-hand touchline for Nunez again. Good movement off the ball from Kenny McLean. Taking it towards the corner flag. I think he's won a corner. No, it's a goal kick. So he tried to cross it with his left foot. I think he just hammered it into his right. And it goes over the line and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, on this left-hand side, he's just trying to combine with Johnny Rowe. He's come back from a big injury, and he's such a good player before that. He's just had to find his rhythm. But McLean, it's interesting because from centre midfield, he usually sits in and allows others to go forward, but just trying to go beyond there.
Now McLean, Norwich veteran these days, did play in the Canaries' last win here at Ellen Road, which was back in 2019. He's got a little bit of playoff experience in the past. I think that the atmosphere when he was playing in the playoffs for Arbroath might have been slightly different to that he's experiencing in his next playoff campaign 14 years on in a Norwich City shirt. 14 minutes in, it's Leeds 1, Norwich 0 with Gruev's excellent free kick on 7 minutes, the difference between the two teams. The last 3 or 4 minutes have been Norwich's best 3 or 4 of the game. No foul by Rowe. Referee Gillett's letting plenty go at the moment. It's been consistent. Barnes with a heavy touch looses out in the midfield. Dispossessed by Gruev. Chance for Ruta to bring the ball forward. Little shimmy. Cuts inside. Nyonto missed his control. Sarah loses out, but it's fouled in the process by Kamara. And it's a free kick that'll be taken by Norwich inside their own half.
Yeah, Jim, the ref's done well because it's absolutely red hot in here, the atmosphere, and he's let some go. He's pulled the players up for just a little bit too much contact, but he's managing it well.
This is the first of the week's playoff semi-finals tomorrow night. Southampton against West Bromwich Albion, playing for the right to meet the winners of this one. It's 1-0 to Leeds on aggregate at the moment. And that starts the build-up at 7 tomorrow night here on Talksport, ahead of an 8 o'clock kickoff down on the Hampshire coast tomorrow night. The League One and League Two playoff finals coming this weekend as well. Bolton against Oxford on Saturday. 4:15 kickoff on Talksport. Crewe against Crawley is Sunday. Talksport 2 from 1. The promotion pictures the definitive pieces now being inserted into the jigsaw, which has taken 9 months to assemble. And Leeds have put a pretty big one in tonight, you would think, but Norwich have not necessarily responded well, but they're beginning to warm to their task. Ball played forward here by Stacey towards Barnes, and it's kept in by Barnes over on the far touch. So it's just given a shove actually by Somerville. Free kick to the Canaries. Lucy?
Yeah, I mean, Norwich are not at it yet, so from a Leeds point of view, can they get another goal while this is happening? And what happens, because the centre backs for Norwich are not particularly quick or mobile, when the team high press, it ends up big gaps, and that's where Leeds will be looking to get the likes of Ruter on the ball in that sort of space.
Here's Ben Gibson playing it back to his goalkeeper. Gunn taking a couple of touches and then a third, and just rolls it outside the penalty area towards Nunez. Nunez for Gibson again. Gibson down towards the left back, Giannoulis. Norwich trying to be brave, trying to play out and invite the press. Peru winning it back, and Gibson then remedies the situation for the Canaries. Plays it forward towards Sara. Sargent dropping off inside the centre circle, spins it wide. Here's Stacey, and a long ball forward from him. Rowe will chase after it, but even he is quick enough to be able to pick that up. I think that was an element of the first leg, Lucy. The Norwich maybe lack the bravery to play their natural game and try and play out through the press, but they're giving it a go tonight. Yeah,
they're trying, but it's they just put the ball at risk in the wrong areas, which is fine because they pass 3 or 4 passes and then it has to go long. But Sargent wasn't ready. It was a poor ball forward, a big gap, but he's got to be in there ready, or Rowe's got to be ready for it. That longer pass after 2 or 3 shorter passes.
Joe Roden plays the ball forward, and it's flicked on by Gnonto. Won back easily by Shane Duffy. Worked forward through the midfield by Duffy, and then McLean into the feet of Rowe. Had such an excellent start to the season, scoring in a run of consecutive games. He and Sargent got a good partnership. They've only started 8 games together over the course of the season, but 10 goals between them in those matches. Tonight, Sargent playing through the middle and Rowe off the left flank. And the ball played into the feet of the young Londoner here. And Rowe laying it back and then getting a return ball from Gibson. Also given the instruction to turn. Rowe picking up possession, goes back for the T-side of Gibson again.
They're playing into Leeds' hands a lot. They're trying to fiddle a ball in central areas where loads of players are. He just needs to go into a little bit of grass, have willing runners, try and stretch Leeds. When you play into feet, you just risk Leeds taking the ball off you.
Giannoulis has been fouled. McLean will take a free kick here for the Canaries. He's still inside his own half, about 15 yards or so. He rolls it back behind square for Nunez. Now to McLean. And the Norwich captain was fouled again by Ruter, but that was another illustration of the point that you were making, because he really invited the challenge and it was close to losing it before he was caught.
Yeah, the ball forward at the moment, Norwich, is really poor, and they've got the players. Get it into Barnes' feet. He doesn't want to chase and stretch him behind. Sargent will do that, but they're just trying to fiddle it. Nunez looks like he started well. He's dropping between the 2 centre backs, facing the press, but it's just those balls into central midfield that's a problem.
Gray poised again. Gnonto ahead of him. Ball inside the area. Peru for 2. Leeds running away with it inside the opening 20 minutes. Great ball by Gray. Sublime cross by Gnonto. Peru peeling away at the back stick. They lead by 2-0. They might have this one in the first quarter of the second leg.
Yeah, I mean, Norwich just look worse than they did in the first leg. They don't actually look like they believe they can play well enough. They're all having a go at each other, and you can't do that. I said if Leeds scored 1 early, that they'd score 2 or 3, and you can just see that they just feel the strength and the energy from this crowd. They're confident, and they've got that second goal, and it's great play on the right-hand side from Gnonto, and it's a searching ball, and I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing. He's gone into the 6-yard box and he lets Peru have the header when he probably could have come and claimed it. It's really disappointing from a Norwich point of view, but Leeds are playing.
Joel Peru scoring just his 3rd goal in his last 17 games, but it is his 16th of the season. 14 of those coming for Leeds, and that arguably the most important of them all. Leeds 2 up at home to a side who only had the 19th best away record over the course of the season. Norwich, who haven't scored in their last 2 games, and they need a score 2 in the next 70 minutes to even take this into extra time. Leeds have laid down a marker. Their only appearance at Wembley in the last 28 years was in the League One playoff final back in 2008, but 16 years on, it looks like they're going to be going back.
Yeah, listen, I was there and it was horrific. Absolutely horrific trip in the playoffs, and hoping, you know, Leeds don't look like they're going to let this slip. Norwich look poor, they don't look like they've got any belief, and Leeds just need to keep going.
Well, there was a break before the restart as a couple of smoke bombs were just cleared, a yellow one and a blue one from the far touchline. Scenes of almost ecstasy around Ellen Road. You can understand it. They've never won promotion through the playoffs, and of course this only takes them to Wembley, but they have been knocked out in the semi-finals in the last 2 playoff campaigns. They haven't won any of their last 4 playoff matches here at Ellen Road, but they've got a stranglehold in this one at the moment. But it might change now. Sargent, great save from Meslier. One through ball. Sargent running onto it, clean through, one-on-one, through the goalkeeper, tried to chip him. Meslier stuck a hand up and made a big save.
Yeah, great save from Meslier. You know, he just made himself big. Ampadu dives in and it's one ball through. That gives Norwich a bit of confidence. They could have got a goal back then. It just changes the outlook of the game.
Norwich get a corner. That was a monumental moment. In comes the corner, a left-footed in swinger towards the edge of the 6-yard box. You'll be able to gather by the cheers. It was a Leeds head on it. Ruta that cleared. Giannoulis lays it back. Stacey forced to go all the way back to his goalkeeper, Angus Gunn. And now Gunn looks for the long ball over the top, trying to get Rowe in against Gray, but he's offside.
Jim, they're playing in the wrong areas, Norwich. You know, they're playing, and I understand why they do it. They want to sort of bait the press and then attack the space, but, you know, Leeds are on top. Leeds have got the energy. As soon as you see a ball over the top then to Sargent, he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Should have finished. Great save by Meslier, but that's what they need to do. They need to face the Leeds defenders towards their own goal.
Roden getting the ball forward for Gray. For a Leeds United side who lead by 2-0. Gruev on 7 minutes, Peru on 20, and then a big save by Meslier in the 23rd minute to deny Josh Sargent, who was clean through. Similar, I suppose, to the moment the other night when Son was clean through and Ortega made the save. Slightly higher stakes, you could argue, in that game. It's given Manchester City the box seat in the Premier League title race. That save, Pep saying, is the biggest moment of their season so far. Ruta coming forward here for Leeds United. 2 goals to the good. A third, it's surely all over. He'll make his way through inside the penalty area, but Giannoulis has stumbled and gone down. There will be a free kick which will be taken by Norwich inside their box, for foul by Jorginho Ruta. Talking that title race, Arsenal still hoping. You know, it's 35 years since the side who was second on the morning of the last day have won the title. 35 years ago, it was Arsenal beating Merseyside opposition. They'll be hoping that lightning strikes twice, albeit in a very different context of the game. They're at home to Everton. It's live on Talksport. 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and if the Gunners are going to do it, you will hear it, and only hear it on Talksport, as McLean brings it forward now for Norwich. Down towards the left-hand side for Rowe, who thought that he'd been able to cut back between Gray and Gnonto, who's convinced he was fouled. Gnonto brings it away, and he's just danced past McLean. Nunez coming back. Gnonto's run 40 yards before Nunez comes back, tackles him, That looked as though it might have been a foul as well, like the row one at the other end. The referee allows both to continue, and this time it's Norwich who can play their way out from the back with 25 minutes in. And these are the thoughts of Lucy Ward.
Listen, Norwich are playing in the wrong area, so what they're doing is that they're committing bodies forward. And when Leeds regain possession, there's so much space. That's what you've got to be wary of. You've got to make sure that the what if we lose it when we're up the pitch, because this is what Leeds are best at. So how are we going to build? Are we going to raid? Are we going to go quickly? Are we going to build and we make sure that we've got the numbers? And then when they've got possession at the back, they're taking risks in the wrong areas. And look at David Wagner on the side. He's sort of pointing out, but nobody will be able to hear him. But Norwich needs the big characters in this team to step up.
Giannoulis playing it forward. Gray was there to deny him any space. Then when they tried to work it in towards Rowe, Gruev read the script and got there. Now Kamara. Little 1-2 with Somerville around the edge of the penalty area. He's inside the box. He's trying to check back. Delicious little reverse ball played in for Somerville. He tried to reverse it for Peru. It's cleared. How to play for a Leeds corner.
Yeah, Leeds are at it. They're confident. The 2 goals up. They don't look like they think that they're going to lose. And they're just trying to get as many goals as possible, because that's something that they haven't done this season.
And Somerville will get towards the byline from this corner, which was worked short. They just get another corner out of it, which will be their third, which they'll take over on the left-hand side, and Somerville will go across in front of the Norman Hunter stand to take it. Those white scarves being waved around the heads of the Leeds supporters down by that corner flag in front of what used to be the away end many years ago in that corner of the ground. Jared Giller, the referee, before the corner is taken, just stopping things because Barnes is involved. I think with Firpo, maybe Ampadu. There's a little gesture from Barnes. He gets back to his feet. He's reliving the previous moment. He's showing the referee that he was pushed to the ground. Now he points to his eyes as if to say, what are you watching? Why haven't you not been able to see what was going on?
Well, they need a character, Jim. They need some mentality from somewhere. Norwich, and Barnes has been in amongst it, but he probably isn't 100% fit.
At the moment it has the makings of being a long night for the Canaries, and their final night of the season. They're 2 down. Leeds work the corner short and get another one. That one conceded by Giannoulis, the Greek international, over on the far touchline. Somerville to take this latest one. Leeds United substitutes sent out off the bench and getting a good ovation in front of us. Meanwhile, the team on the field swing the corner in, and it was tantalising in-swinger that Gunn had to punch from underneath his bar to get it away. Norwich clear as far as halfway, where it's picked up by Gray. Gray clipping it right-footed down towards the figure of Reuter, and Gibson comes in and slides it put out of play. And it's out for a throw, which will be taken on the Leeds United right. It's Liam Cooper's name is being sung. He's only had a bit part to play in the closing stages of the season, only 1 league appearance. In fact, since late January. There's a man that played in the last playoff campaign for Leeds 5 years ago, back in 2019. They were beaten in the semi-finals by Derby back then. Here's Giannoulis clearing the ball on the edge of his own penalty area. It took a ricochet and went back towards, even deeper towards the edge of his own box. Norwich clear, picked up though by Ampadu on the left-hand touchline, and they very neatly worked the ball back towards Kamara. And now Roden, and he's got much more time and space to be able to pick the next pass and construct another attack for Leeds. Good value for a 2-0 lead they build up inside the opening 29 minutes.
Absolutely, Jim. Complete control of the game. A couple of wobbles, ones where Sargent went through, great save from Meslier, but other than that, it's been all Leeds. They look confident. I mean, the one thing you don't do is turn a game into a basketball game against Leeds, because they'll beat you. They're so potent when they win the ball back, and they've got a little bit of space to run into, and that's what we saw with the second goal.
Did lose the last 2 games here in the regular season, beaten by Blackburn and Southampton, but that having been unbeaten in the previous 21. Not playing like a side who took only 7 points in the last 7 league games. This is much more reminiscent of a Leeds performance from that heady, long, unbeaten run that they had through the depths of winter. The kind of performance that they showed in beating Leicester home and away. Gruev. Back for Roden. Roden inside the centre circle. Works it down towards the Leeds United right-hand side for the young Italian winger Willy Gnonto. Now Gray, still only 17. What a season he has had. His first as a Leeds first-team player. More than 50 appearances this season, having only played once for the first team before the start of the season. He's just made a major impact. Championship Young Player of the Year, and that was a pretty easy accolade to predict who was going to win that. Yanulis going back towards his own corner flag for Norwich. Hit long by Gibson. Roden getting the better of Rowe. Nunez then doing well to pick up the pieces in midfield ahead of Somerville.
It's an obvious thing to say, Jim, but if Norwich need to get the next goal, and they need to get it, I think, before half-time, just to change the atmosphere in here. It's far too easy for Leeds. Leeds fans are enjoying it. They're going around the team and singing the individual player song. That's a slight on Norwich and the way that they're playing. You know, they've got to come here and give everything.
Nakamara caught in possession in the midfield by Sargent, but McLean couldn't make the most of that, and Leeds quickly have it. And you talk about the third goal tonight being absolutely crucial, and that's what made that Ilan Meslier save so significant when he denied Josh Sargent, because they could have halved the deficit straight away and got back within one. You just wonder whether a few nerves would have set in. Leeds much the better side. Ruta bringing the ball forward, getting away from Nunez, passing it off to his left-hand side for Somerville. Somerville to Firpo. Firpo with a low ball in, and Gibson was there to slide it away. And a play for Leeds, fifth corner of the night. They lead 2-0. Yeah,
that's what Ruta's good at, picking the ball up, being physical. Nobody can get the ball from it, and then give it to somebody who can create or score. And he's a big part of that reaction to winning the ball back.
So Somerville across to take the corner. Gruev stands on the edge of the penalty area. Gray back on the centre circle. Everybody else, though, is pretty much in the penalty area when the cross is taken. Little flick header, and it goes narrowly wide. It was Joe Roden that came to meet it, maybe just on his way down by the time the ball got to him, and he couldn't quite get the angle that he wanted, and it just bounced narrowly wide of Gunn's right-hand post. Now to play for a goal kick.
Yeah, I know for a fact that the majority of this Leeds fans are enjoying this, but they're thinking, this is going too well. This is going too well. We're just a bit more than half an hour into the game, and we look comfortable. We've scored 2 goals. It's going too well.
Now long ball played for by Gunn, and Rowe did really well to come off the left flank and win it. Only for Archie Gray. Beckenbauer like to come and chest the ball down, turn him, and nail off towards Gnonto. Is he really only 17?
No. It's ridiculous. I mean, the only thing that I worry about, just from a welfare point of view, is the amount of minutes that he's played as a young player from, the previous years. It's tough. It doesn't always have an effect now. It has an effect later on in the career, in the next sort of 2 or 3 seasons. It happened with Sam Byram. He did the same in his first couple of seasons, and then he struggled with injuries more or less all the way through his career.
Yeah, Gray making just his 52nd appearance tonight. The ball played inside the centre circle, and then Gibson will lay it back towards Shane Duffy. Duffy out towards the right-hand side for Norwich again. It's on the right-hand touchline. Now it's given away. One back though by Nunez, under pressure from Somerville. And Norwich able to bring it down on the edge of the centre circle. That's the rhetorical question, whether Archie Gray was really only 17. The answer is no. He's 18.
There you go.
Hugh Woozencroft points out to me. Thank you, Hugh. They're on the front foot again. Right-hand side of the penalty area, and Gnonto with a low shot that's stung the palms of Gunn, but a comfortable save to make. 11 to go to half-time. Leeds 2, Norwich 0. You talked about Norwich playing in the wrong areas, but what do they need to do more of in a bid to be able to try and get a foothold in this game before half-time?
Well, when I talk about playing in the wrong areas, they sort of trying to fiddle it into central midfield, where that's where the majority of Leeds players are. So they're saying, thank you very much, win it back, and then all of a sudden they're on top of Norwich. It's about getting the ball wide. Can you get Rowe involved? Can you get Jack Stacey up from right full back? And then can you make those runs? Because you've got two up front. You know, when at the moment he's got Barnes and Josh Sargent in those central areas, and you've got to occupy the centre backs properly, and that's not what's happening.
Gray can bring the ball forward again. Brilliant turn. Is it really only 18? The ball played in towards Ruta. And Nunez wins it back, and then Gibson can play it out towards Giannoulis. Giannoulis on the left-hand touchline, and Gnonto steamed in to try and win it. Wasn't expecting Giannoulis to check back. He then committed himself, Gnonto. He's fouled him. Offers a hand of apology to both the referee and the player. It will be a free kick to Norwich. Just 15 games into the season, they were in the bottom 8, and there was real pressure on David Wagner, particularly after a really poor performance at home to Blackburn. Some of the fans calling for his head. From there to get to the playoff semi-finals, a decent achievement. But I do wonder what the future will hold for David Wagner if Norwich were to be beaten relatively heavily tonight, whether that would have any impact on any decision-making process.
I think the disappointing thing for him is they're second best in everything, and duels, individual duels.
Somerville playing it out towards Firpo. That was a big challenge from Stacey to win the ball back over on the far touchline, the Norwich right. Now he sent a long ball over the top, and Barnes has done brilliantly to be able to control it and bring it down. Roden stumbled, then Barnes stumbled. He's ended up going literally through the legs of Roden. He kept possession. Then the ball was played forward towards Rowe. He's gone down and has been booked for diving.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Actually, Ashley Barnes did everything he could physically to protect the ball after he slipped, but that's a good example. A little bit of a longer ball, and it's been direct with a bit of purpose, and it causes Leeds problems. It did then, but Rowe went down far too easily, and the referee was in a good position. He wasn't touched by Gray, brought his foot away, but they're getting success from a little bit of that longer ball. They're causing problems for the centre-backs, but they've not done it enough and not playing in those sort of areas enough.
Well, the Championship playoffs has always been very difficult for a side that have finished sixth. Norwich finding that this time around, particularly on the basis that they finished 17 points adrift of Leeds. As I mentioned earlier, it's the biggest gap between third and sixth for more than 20 years. So this is the biggest disparity between any two teams that have played a Championship playoff semi-final for more than 2 decades. The team finishing sixth has been beaten by the team finishing third in 15 of the last 18 years, and at the moment that's going to be extended to 16 from 19. It is more so than any other division a very, very difficult set of playoffs to win for the side that have just snuck in, rather than the side that have been in a position of strength for most of the season like Leeds have. Gray with another good turn round out of room. It's gone out of play for a throw. Yeah,
I mean, there's no argument that Leeds have been the better team all season than Norwich have, but it's an opportunity for Norwich. But the second best, like I said, in most things in this game, individual duels. That's what Wagner won't be happy about. That when it comes face to face, that there's not many of them that are coming out on top with the ball and just allowing the Leeds players to have that sort of dominance. And I don't know how. I honestly look at it now, Jim. I don't know how they're going to turn it around, Norwich.
Giannoulis trying to work the ball forward. Roden on the slide, leans in and steers the ball away. Gruev lays the ball back to the edge of his own penalty area for Gray. And now Meslier plays through the penalty area out towards Junior Firpo. Somerville comes to join in. Back it goes from him to the Dominican international Firpo. He'll control it again, having received the ball from Ethan Ampadu. Another player who's had an outstanding season. The young Welshman, the heart of Leeds United's defence more often than not, but sometimes in the heart of midfield. Kamara to Roden. Leeds need to see what his future holds as well. Joe Roden, who's enjoyed his loan spell here from Spurs. Kamara able to bring the ball forward and works into the feet of Somerville, and then Kamara will get it again and turn it back for Ampadu once more. It's midway between the edge of his penalty area and the halfway line as he rolls it forward into the feet of Gruev, who's Very clever free kick got Leeds off and running tonight. They haven't looked back since.
Yeah, and they're controlling the tempo of the game. They've slowed it down a couple of times, just allows Leeds to get their breath back, and Norwich are chasing shadows.
And Peru has got in again. He's got round the back. He's on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Ruta to try and hit. Might break for Somerville. Here's Ruta. That's 3 and a place at Wembley. Into ecstasy. Leeds 3, Norwich City 0. There are Norwich players lying face down on the turf. They know their fate is sealed, that their season is over. They have been blown away by a white West Yorkshire hurricane tonight in the form of Leeds United. They've got a terrible playoff record, but they're going to be 90 minutes away from a return to the Premier League.
Yeah, it's far too easy from a Norwich point of view, and I said about Ruter before the game, he doesn't score enough goals, and Norwich have been playing that badly that he gets himself on the score sheet. Great break from Peru, and it's a good finish just under the bar. He's got his foot on it, good strength, and this is Leeds players have just used the energy, used what the crowd have given them. They've not wilted, they've stood up, they've been strong, they've been dominant, and they've done absolutely brilliant in this first half.
He last scored back in February. That's his first goal in 15. It's only his second here, Lucy, at Ellen Road. In 30 games, 3-0 games. He netted against Swansea, and now has scored just his second goal at Ellen Road for Leeds United, who lead 3-0 with 3.5 minutes to go to half-time. Rowe has been fouled by Gray, and it's a Norwich free kick 10 yards inside Leeds territory. And this feels as though it has the potential to be an extremely damaging night for Norwich, beyond the fact that it curtails their season.
Absolutely, Jim. You know, you see the fans that have travelled up from Norwich expected more fight, they expected more belief from these players, but they've been absolutely blown away.
Saro, the long delivery out towards the far post. It's headed in and then headed away by Peru. Nyonto in there ahead of Giannoulis. Turned through the midfield. It could be 3 against 2. They're in again. It's Nyonto continuing his run towards the edge of the penalty area. Straight at Gunn, who got his body behind it. And then it's cleared by Nunez and out of play for a throw. Daniel Farker stands on the edge of his technical area. Just tells his players to calm down. Wagner stands on the edge of his. And just hopes and prays for some kind of reaction, a modicum, a crumb of comfort, just something to give him a positive hope going into the second half.
Yeah, the Norwich staff are complaining to fourth official that it was a foul, actually. I think the referee had a couple of players, I was right behind it, and the referee didn't have a good view of it, and it just allowed Leeds to get up the pitch really quickly. Nonto shot, he probably could have gone a little bit closer to taking it because he's got the pace, but a good save by Gunn, but they're right on the rack here, Norwich.
Giannoulis is the player that is down injured, receiving a little bit of treatment. He puts his fingers to his nose to see if there's any evidence of blood.
Do you know what, Jim? That's the first thing that the referee's done wrong in this first half. That's the only thing he's missed in the whole of the first half. I think he's been very good.
No, Giannoulis is back on his feet, and he's making his way down towards this near touchline. He's going to be able to continue. Well, we've got a minute to go in this first period. A couple of minutes to be added on, probably. Fourth official, Rebecca Welsh, is just preparing the numbers board. Play's going to resume with a Leeds United throw. Giannoulis not given permission to come back on as yet, so Norwich temporarily down to 10 men. But they've worked the ball, Leeds United, from his left-back area. Haven't tried to attack him while he's off the field. And Leeds are just retaining possession and have it with Roden in a safe area in the midfield. Now they will be able to bring it forward, and they do work it down towards Gray. And Gray will play it in towards the edge of the penalty area for Ruta. Comes back for Gruev, the scorer of the first goal. Gruev has it again and works it through the centre of midfield. Now played out towards the left-hand side for Somerville. He can't keep it in. And how many extra minutes are going to be prescribed? Fourth official has the numbers board in her hands. And it's just waiting a few seconds before sharing the news with us all. Gibson's going to be able to bring it away here for Norwich. 4 additional minutes. Barnes getting it forward. McLean out towards Yanulis, who's back on, but Gray's very quickly back goal side of him. Yanulis clipping it in. Barnes rolling it forward towards Rowe, who was offside. And it's a free kick that Leeds will take 6 or 7 yards outside their penalty area. So in stoppage time at the end of the first half, Leeds 3, Norwich 0 here on Talksport.
Yeah, the biggest criticism that you could give Norwich is that they've not sort of shown any sort of spirit. You know, they've been completely steamrolled by Leeds, to Leeds' credit, but it's far too easy. They're just enjoying themselves. And really, in a second leg of a playoff semi-final, they shouldn't be enjoying themselves. It should be hard to get through to Wembley, and it's just been far too easy for Leeds.
Well, as I mentioned, they've put a real marker down for Southampton and West Brom, who will be watching this with interest. Find out tomorrow night, this time tomorrow, which of those two Leeds in all likelihood are going to be playing. And I'll bring it forward again here with Peru. The build-up for Southampton West Brom, also 0-0 after the first leg, you'll remember, is live on Talksport tomorrow night. Hugh with the build-up from 7. And then Ray Houghton, part of your commentary team, tomorrow night from 8 o'clock, live from St Mary's. Leeds looking for a fourth before half-time. Peru trying to roll the ball in. He's found Firpo. Crowd get to their feet. Gunn with the save. Ruta trying to walk it into the net. Couldn't quite. It was a last-ditch interception from Rowe, who slid in about a yard off the line and was able to smuggle it wide in conjunction with Yanulis. It could and probably should have been 4.
I tell you what, it's a good job the 3-0 up, because he should have been 4. Ruta took about 4 touches, and you can't do that in the 6-yard box, and he was muscled out of it in the end, but it should have been 4 for Leeds.
Leeds will have to make do with another corner, which will be their 6th of this first half. Leeds 3, Norwich 0 on Talksport. In comes the corner, little left-footed in-swinger, just clipped in towards the corner of the penalty area, but headed away before it got to Firpo. It's come off him last and gone out of play for a goal kick for Norwich. Good luck to David Wagner trying to mentally construct the half-time team talk in his head as to exactly the best way to approach this, whether it's going to be one that strips paint off the walls, whether he's going to be trying to coax some form of reaction out of Norwich, who need an absolutely exceptional second half, one of the best 45 minutes from any team in the Championship this season, if they're going to throw themselves a lifeline and take this potentially to extra time. Roden playing the ball back to Gruev, who's just dropped deep and split the 2 centre halves again for Leeds. Ampadu, when that happens, given a little bit more licence to push forward. It's 3-0 to Leeds. We've got 40 seconds to go to half-time here on Talksport, Lucy. Yeah,
I mean, they're calm and comfortable. Leeds, like I said, they've managed the tempo really well. They've scored. It's been poor defending from Norwich, but Leeds don't bother about that. They've played the way that they play, high level, completely dominated this game, and made it comfortable now, probably for the rest of the game.
Kamara finding Firpo. Goes back for Glenn Kamara again. Ampadu to Roden. And then back for Ampadu once more. Leeds more than happy just to pass out the final seconds of this first 45 minutes. 45 minutes of football that have seen Leeds comprehensively return to the form. Listen to the reaction they get as they leave the field at half-time. Gruev getting them off and running with a brilliant free kick on 7 minutes, deceiving and embarrassing the Norwich back line. Peru doubled the lead on 20. Ruta added a third 4 minutes before the break and should have scored again in first half stoppage time. big save, and mentioned in dispatches for Ilan Meslier, who denied Josh Sargent only about a minute or so after the 2-0 goal had gone in. Might it have made for a different story to the night? Had Norwich got it back to 2-1? We will never know. But it's going to be an heroic, if not implausible, fight back if Norwich can even come close to getting this to extra time from here. Half-time, Leeds 3, Norwich 0.
There's only one way to put it. Absolute domination. Only one team has shown up to Welland Road tonight, and that has been Leeds United, backed by their adoring 35,000 home fans here, many of whom were dreading tonight. Nerves were jangling. Playoff curse? What playoff curse? It is turning into the night of their lives. The home side has been absolutely fantastic, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a reflection of the difference between the two teams during the season. It's just that doesn't always happen in the playoffs. Nerves get to players. You know, when I saw the crowd before, I thought, I really hope that the Leeds players can cope with this, because they're trying the best, the crowd. But Norwich have been all over the place. They've been really, really poor. But Leeds have been fantastic. And that gulf, I mean, I did say to you if they score early, they'd get 2 or 3. I didn't think by half-time.
Well, that's the point. We spoke about it, didn't we? How important it was to get the first goal in the game, particularly if it came early. Ilya Gruev whipping in inside 7 minutes. The roof came off the place, but what were Norwich City doing? Angus Gunn in the Norwich goal, he had a 2-man wall not covering the near post. It was whipped in left-footed from an inside right position. Brilliant execution, but probably far too easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's details, isn't it? You know, it's the opening 10 minutes of a really important game when you're away from home, and the goalkeeper just lost concentration for a split second. Didn't get his wall right, but even then he didn't react when the ball was kicked. When he realised it was coming from a left footer, I think he was like, hang on, I'm in trouble here. But I think everything that could have gone wrong for Norwich has gone wrong. They didn't win their individual duels. Physically, they weren't up to it. They played in the wrong areas. They didn't defend crosses well, and they found themselves 3-0 down, and you know, well deserved to be as well.
Maybe some responsibility for the second goal for Angus Gunn as well, despite the fact his side hasn't played well. You're right, it's the fine details. Joel Perreault with the second goal on the 20th minute. It was a beautiful lofted cross to the back post from Willie Nonto, but it's dropped inside the 6-yard box. Perreault hasn't even jumped. He's nodded past the goalkeeper, and again, it's just easy.
Listen, it wasn't even a driven cross. He had a long time to look at it, Gunn. As soon as it enters the 6-yard box and there's only a defender and an attacker in there as well as the goalkeeper, it's the goalkeepers all day. And why he didn't come out, I have no idea. But his decision making for both of those first 2 goals have not helped Norwich. You know, and you know, they've not been perfect anywhere near all over the pitch, Norwich. But I think that Gunn will look back at that and think, hang on a minute, I watched that for a few seconds and I still wasn't first to it. And you know, it's poor by the goalkeeper.
At that point, Norwich City in a real world of pain, as you've underlined. But then came the sliding doors moment. Josh Sargent put in one-on-one. He maybe could have squared for Rowe at the back post, but he didn't look. Maybe he didn't hear him, as we spoke about before the game. The noise absolutely incredible inside Ellen Road. He tried to dink Ilan Meslier, and it was, you have to say, a fantastic save. Credit to the goalkeeper. He used his full wingspan, stretching up, getting a big right mitt to it.
Yeah, I mean, Sargent should have finished that, and to be fair, it looked like he'd chosen the right option, a little dink over, but Meslier just had it, like you said, he had his arms out, so he was ready for anything. But that was a massive moment, because I talk about, if Norwich are going to get anything, they're going to get through tonight, they have to use the crowd against Leeds, and scoring then when everybody's really happy that Leeds have gone 2-0 up would have been a problem, but you know, it didn't happen. And if they're going to come here and get something, then they have to make the most of those big moments, and they just haven't at all.
And Norwich had actually grown into the game after conceding the first goal early. They hadn't really been in the contest until then. They kind of calmed down. You saw the signals coming in for players to, you know, settle down, don't worry about the occasion, just play your own game. But you're absolutely right, Lucy. They haven't impacted the game in the right areas, and now any semblance of a game plan, we're not at plan B, we're not at plan C, we're not at plan D now. They're going to have to throw the kitchen sink at this, you know, 3-0, 6-0, whatever it it is. It doesn't really matter. They need to get something out of the game.
Yeah, they scored the first goal, Leeds, and were on top. Then, like you say, Norwich came back into it, and the ebb and flow of the game was with Norwich. And then the mistake for the second goal, and then they've got a mountain to climb. Third goal, I mean, even Root has scored, so that tells you how poor that Norwich have been. But he plays his part everywhere else on the pitch. But you saw in that when he should have scored the fourth that he's not really a natural in front of goal. But I think David Wagner and the Norwich fans will be looking at this thinking, right, what are you all made of now? Are you going to wilt because we're not going to get to Wembley? Are you going to wilt? Are you going to go for it? Are you going to show something about yourselves? Who's with them for next season? Who are the players who can respond to adversity? Because they're not going to be able to come back, I wouldn't say, from 3-0 down. But they have to show something that, that everything that's gone on this season is not in vain for these Norwich fans.
And we can't forget that Leeds United kind of believe that the playoffs are always against them. 5 campaigns, 5 defeats. If you get 1 and you can turn that into 2, this place will be a mess. Okay, the nerves will be completely gone, and maybe the Leeds United players' heads will go as well. So they can't feel Norwich City as if this is a completely lost battle. If they can get a goal early in the second half, if they can apply some pressure, if they can create some doubts in the minds of those Leeds United players, then who knows? It would be a miracle, yes, but a miracle could happen.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Hugh. They've got to get the next goal. I said that at 2-0 and they didn't do it. Leeds will come out and it'll just be about managing, trying to get a fourth but not taking too many risks. Norwich have to take risks. They have to play in better areas. They have to play up the pitch. All this, when they're trying to bait the press, it hasn't worked because the decision making on the passes into those central areas has not been good. So they have to go for it. They have to show something, but they really have to improve 1,000% to get anywhere near in the second half.
Well, they think it's all over, and it's just about. We've got another 45 minutes on the way. Norwich fans, don't give up just yet. But like I say, I think it would take a miracle. Let's get the halftime odds on Talksport, all thanks to Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
I told you it was going to be eventful, didn't I? Leeds United 3, Norwich City 0. For the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Leeds at 1 to 500 on to win this game. If you're desperate for £1, it might be worth it. The draw is 50 to 1. At Norwich, 125 to 1 to come back and win this game. Goal scorer odds, though, maybe that's the market you want to look at. Wilfred Gnonto to score anytime. It was 10 to 3. It is now 4 to 1. And a special for you as well. A penalty to be scored in the game. That was 5 to 2. That is also now 4 to 1. Those are the latest odds thanks to Ladbrokes. It's 18 plus, of course. Make sure you check out BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Let's head back to Valhalla next. Let's check in on the opening day of the US PGA Championship. Talksport's golf correspondent Rupert Bell is watching.
Well, the conditions not so easy for the afternoon starters over in Valhalla in Kentucky. But Scotty Scheffler did get off to the most spectacular start when he held his second shot at the par 4th opening hole to get to 2 under. Did get to 3 under, but he gave one back. He's played 7 holes, but he's at 2 under. But no one at the moment looking as if they're going to get near Xander Schauffele's brilliant 62. A record-equaling round in a major, a second time that Schauffele has scored that mark. As I say, Rory McIlroy with another excellent start, a 5 under par opening for him when he was out this morning. But for Scotty Scheffler and the afternoon starters, they'll be hoping that they can find a way of closing the gap. It's been a wretched start for John Rahm, who, of course, has gone to live, but he's had an appalling start, as I say. He is at 4 over par. That is after 6 holes. Xander Schauffele sitting comfortably in the clubhouse at 9 under par, leading by 3.
PGA Championship update on Talksport with Arnold Clark. Click and collect from the UK's biggest choice of used cars.
And don't forget, you can join Talksport's King of Kings watch-along this Saturday night as Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk battle it out for the undisputed world heavyweight crown. We've got a great team for you. Adam Cattrall, Spencer Oliver, former IBF world flyweight champion Sonny Edwards, and the legendary boxing voice Adam Smith. They're going to dissect every single moment of the action, and it will be very, very eventful. You won't miss any of it with us. Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk, the watch-along this Saturday evening from 9 p.m. on Talksport and on the Talksport Boxing YouTube channel. And if this was a boxing contest, well, the towel would have come in from the yellow corner already. Norwich City have been like lambs to the slaughter. Leeds United 45 minutes from a return to Wembley for an EFL playoff final for the first time since 2008. At the break, live and exclusive on Talksport, it's Leeds 3, Norwich 0.
Talksport. I'm Jeff Stelling. It's the exciting conclusion of the Premier League season, live and exclusive on Talksport, Talksport 2 and the Talksport app.
That's it!
Sunday afternoon from 4, hear 6 thrilling Premier League games, all kicking off at the same time.
How about that?
Arsenal take on Everton, live on Talksport.
Oh, what a finish!
Sheffield United versus Spurs, live on Talksport 2.
He shoots, it's got in!
With Liverpool versus Wolves, Brighton versus Manchester United, Brentford versus Newcastle, and Luton versus Fulham, all live on the Talksport app. Incredible. Get set for the final day of the Premier League season.
What a chance, what a goal!
Live and exclusive on Talksport, Talksport 2 and the Talksport app.
In the year 2000, Talksport established an elite breakfast show for the top 1% of former professional footballers. Alan Brazil is the original Maverick.
Flaps up for the football.
Turbocharged twin-engine breakfast radio with Alan Callsign, roll out the barrel Brazil.
Turn and burn, baby.
And Ray Party 7 Parlour.
Wow, can you keep this thing the right way up? My beer's going everywhere.
The all-action Talksport Superstar Breakfast with Alan Maverick Brazil.
I've been flying through the danger zone for 20 years.
And his wingman, me, Ray Party Parlour.
Tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock on Talksport.
I feel the need for speed.
Saturday afternoon.
Have we got something special for you?
The League One playoff final live on Talksport.
Oh, it's got in!
Bolton Wanderers versus Oxford United.
Coverage from 1, kick-off 4:15.
Oh, it's in!
Saturday afternoon on Talksport.
Best served ice cold.
Sharp shooting, ball booting radio.
Championship playoff semi-final.
Live on Talksport.
Realistically, it's not quite in a position to shoot. Somerville runs over the ball. Gruev taking it. Has gone for goal! Oh, brilliant! That is majestic. What a strike from Gruev. Great. Poised again. Gnonto ahead of him. Ball inside the area. Peru for 2. Leeds running away with it inside the opening 20 minutes. Peru has got in again. He's got round the back. He's on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Ruder to try and hit. Might break for Somerville. Here's Ruter. That's 3 and a place at Wembley.
Well, the party has started early here at Ellen Road. Goals from Gruev, Peru and Ruter have put Leeds United 3 up at the break, and with 1 foot in the Championship playoff final at Wembley, Norwich City have been sent packing, really, barring something rather epic, rather incredible. There's no way back for them. Surely, in this second half. We'll have it live and exclusive for you here on Talksport very, very shortly. And remember, the winner will face Southampton or West Brom in that final at Wembley, and we'll be live at St Mary's for that second leg, level at 0-0 after the first leg tomorrow night here on Talksport. So make sure you're with us for that one, and hopefully it's a little bit closer, a little bit more exciting than this one has been so far. Lucy Ward, the former Leeds women's forward, is alongside me. Looks like we might get a change from Norwich City here as the players emerge back out onto the pitch. What would they have to do, really, in terms of their tactics, in terms of the endeavour here, to get some more change out of Leeds United?
Yeah, I mean, they need to raise the game by 100% at least.
At least.
Yeah, at least. And, you know, I cannot see it, because sometimes when it's 3-0 and, you know, you might have a little bit of bad luck conceding, you look like, we've seen a little bit, but there's no poke up front. There's nothing really up front. Bounce, none of them are going in behind, and I just, you know, no sort of pace. Yes, he's going to change it, and it's like, cheers for putting me on at 3-0 down, but they're going to have to show something. But Leeds fully in control.
It looks very, very strange out there, because Josh Sargent, I think, is the player, Jim Proudfoot, who has been removed, Norwich's main goal scorer.
And I think it's just a question of protecting him. They look at this as being a game that is gone. He came into it not 100% fit because of an ankle problem. He did get a kick in the first half and was limping for a couple of minutes. Maybe it's seized up over the half-time interval, but he's not going to be able to continue. It's Boya Sainz that will come on, which I would imagine we'll see Gabriel Saura move up front.
That's a significant blow of Norwich City's chances of overturning this tonight and having something special happen. To lose your main goal scorer at the break, yes, he's had a bit of a knock, but it's a blow. It's a blow for Norwich City as Leeds United emerge. They just have to keep their heads, and they will be heading for Wembley. The second half, live and exclusive here on Talksport. From Leeds 3, Norwich 0, is with former Leeds forward Lucy Ward and Talksport's Jim Proudfoot.
So Sainz on, the Spanish winger who's had a couple of red cards this season. He played in La Liga for Alaves early in his career, and he's going to come on here, and almost certainly he will play off the left-hand side. Exactly how they're going to shuffle things around remains to be seen. They've got the option potentially of moving Rowe through the middle alongside Barnes. We'll find out very shortly. It will be Norwich in yellow shirts and green shorts who will kick from left to right in this second half and getting us underway. Leeds United in all white and 3 goals to the good Lucy Ward.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I look at the Norwich fans, and these players have to show something. They've travelled up here, they've followed the team all season, and that's probably the most disappointing half of football they've probably ever seen, and they so want to see a reaction from their team in this second half.
Barnes caught a good challenge by Ampadu. And a chance for Leeds United to bring it forward, and they could be in again right at the start of the second half. Big save from Gunn. It could have been 4. Peru firing at him, and he did really well. Angus Gunn, his best moment of the night. But they were in just 30 seconds after the restart. Here's Kamara finding Junior Firpo. Somerville will take it on now. Norwich doing their best to hunt in packs and try and work the Leeds United players back towards halfway. Gruev will now work it out towards Archie Gray. Nyonto for Gray again, a yard in from the right-hand touchline. Yeah, so it's just also easy around the edge of the area, wasn't it?
So you're David Wagner, and you've given a half-time team talk, you give your team instructions, and then within sort of 15 seconds, Leeds have passed away past your centre-backs with ease again, and only the goalkeeper keep it from being fought.
Yeah, a big save from Gunn, that. Here's Roden. And a Leeds player has gone down off the ball and needs a little bit of treatment, which gives us the opportunity to see a replay of that really good save from Gunn. It was just far too easy and made the run off Ben Gibson.
Peru as well, Jim. I think that he thought he'd scored. I think he hit it with enough power. I think if he'd have placed it, it'd have trickled in either side of Gunn, and Daniel Farke reacts, and I think he's just been greedy. His team have been absolutely wonderful tonight, but he wants that 4th.
Ampadu is 10 yards inside his own half. Leeds restore to their full complement of 11, and Ampadu goes back for Melier again. Norwich haven't beaten Leeds in 5 attempts. Norwich's last win here in 2019 when Daniel Farke was the boss, and he's almost certainly going to be on the winning side again tonight. The only man to win 2 divisional titles with the Canaries in their history. 5 years ago, winning the championship, they were immediately relegated, but he took them back up at the first time of asking. But almost certainly now looking at a 3rd successive championship season after what so far has been an absolutely torrid night for them. Rowe's been fouled, and it's a free kick that Leeds will Norwich will take inside the centre circle. They trail 3-0.
I mean, David Wagner's had a lot of stick this season, you know, not playing the way that the fans think that he should be playing. You know, when he's been under pressure, he's been quite pragmatic, which is not like him. But, you know, he probably, you know, if it ends how we think it's going to end tonight, that he probably will be under severe pressure, even though they've done well in 2024.
Stacey plays the ball back for Duffy. Duffy working it forward towards Kenny McLean. Duffy again to Stacey down the right-hand touchline. Opportunity for Sarah that they haven't really been able to get into the game too much. Now played forward. Good movement by Barnes, allowing space for McLean in behind him. McLean with a left-footed shot that's going to go out of play for a throw. It's only their second shot of the night. And in some ways, it's such an eloquent statement about how Norwich's night has gone.
Yeah. Show me a passage of play that reflects Norwich's play tonight, and that certainly is that. McLean has a shot and it spins out from his left foot from the right side of the pitch and goes out for a throw-in on the left side of the pitch.
The Championship playoff final is live on Talksport a week on Sunday. That's May the 26th. We'll be at Wembley for what will almost certainly be Leeds against either Southampton or West Brom. The second leg of their semi-final, 0-0 after the first, is live tomorrow night with the build-up started with Hugh from 7 ahead of an 8 o'clock kickoff. Norwich in possession inside their own half. Worked all the way back for Gunn. Long clearance from the Scottish international who was injured against Leeds back in October, a game that Norwich led 2-0 and lost. 3-0 down in this one. Leeds trying to work the ball forward again with Somerville making an excellent third-man run. Peru to try to slip the ball in between right back and centre half. Peru had gone down. The ball ends up going out of play for a goal kick, and Norwich in a hurry, trying to restart play as quickly as they can, just trying to make something happen as they desperately look for a lifeline to get back into this game. There's no sign of it yet.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. Janulis, I think, who just ran with the ball and started doing things individually. It'd make it even worse for Norwich.
Gray sending a cross in for Somerville. Well, he's the smallest man on the pitch. It was a flying header, and he didn't beat the bar by much.
Yeah, that will cap it off, wouldn't it? He's about 5 foot tall. And he won a header against them 2 centre-backs, and they cannot feel sorry for themselves, these Norwich players. You know, you cannot crumble. I know it's difficult. It's the second half. You're probably going to lose this game and lose it comfortably, but it'll tell a lot of people about a lot of these players if they do give up.
Kamara slipped to his left-hand side. Somerville works it onto his left and got the shot in. Gunn forced to save with his left heel to be able to get the ball away and kick it out for the first corner of this second half. It's still all Leeds. They're 3 goals to the good and hungry for more.
Yeah, good save again by Gunn. He's kept Leeds out at the start of this second half.
Somerville will take this corner. And the white Leeds scarves are being gleefully waved around the heads of Leeds United supporters in all 4 stands. In from Somerville, looking for the near post flick, which was forthcoming. It's hit Firpo, really. He turned onto it, probably struck his back on the way out of play for a goal kick that'll be taken by Gunn away to our left-hand side.
And I think has any team ever enjoyed the second half of the second leg Championship playoff and semi-final? I don't think that's the case, but these Leeds fans are enjoying themselves. I think the players feel comfortable, they feel confident, and they're managing the game well.
Ethan Ampadu's got the ball at his feet. Norwich almost in a position to get Gabriel Sara going. I wonder if it's going to be his last game in a Canary shirt tonight. Melier will clear. And one crucial save. He's had very little to do. In fact, I don't think he's had another shot to save apart from that one in a one-on-one from Josh Sargent midway through the first half, which kept the score at 2-0 to Leeds. Boyer Sainz is fouled. The first contribution from him since coming on. And it's a free kick to Norwich. You never know. Got to do it step by step. If they were to score the next goal, they just might sow the first seeds of self-belief. Another from there, and you really never know if 3-0 becomes 3-2. Already seen that in these astonishing playoff games that we brought you on Talksport and Talksport 2 this season already. Just think back to the Bolton-Barnsley game, which was done and dusted with a 3-goal aggregate lead at half-time in the second leg of that, but Barnsley did get 2 back. Leeds looking for more themselves. Somerville still travelling. Peru, good save again. Gunn literally single-handedly is keeping this respectable.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. Norwich they've got to go for it, so they've got to commit players forward. But as soon as you do that, it's when Leeds are best because they can just find the space and exploit it.
And now Stacey has run into trouble and felt that he was fouled. Jared Gillett As we were saying in the first half, has been really consistent. He's let plenty go. Stacey working through the midfield. It's a nice turn by Rowe. He's got the pace to get past Gruev. He's going to get a yellow card for that. Just pulled him back. I knew that the little Londoner was past him, and he pulled him back by the neck of his shirt, and Gruev's in the book.
Yeah, that's much better in terms of Rowe and the way that he's playing. He's got that pace, and can he get up and beyond Barnes? We've got Sainz now on that left-hand side. He showed a couple of good touches and a couple of good runs, but Leeds are in a good position in terms of their shape. They're not really taking much risk in terms of pushing players forward, apart from when they've got really good possession, but certainly they're far and away dominant in all aspects of the game.
Just to put things in perspective, Norwich have got 35 minutes now to score 3 goals against the Leeds side with the second best defensive record in the Championship, who've only let in 6 in the last 19 hours of football here at Elland Road. And Norwich lead 3 in a little over half an hour. Rowe trying to bring it forward, and again just ran down a cul-de-sac. Somerville's got it back, and he'll play it out towards the right-hand side for Gray. Gray back behind square for Kamara, to Gray again. And Kamara, the former Rangers man, checks his run, plays it back for Gruev, who scored the first goal of the night, his first in Leeds United colours, only the 4th of his career.
I tell you what, Jim, I think Daniel Farke deserves a lot of credit, because they were right in the doldrums. When they lost here against Blackburn, the fans getting on the back, the players didn't look confident, and I think you look at the way, in reflection now, the way he played that first leg, where he made sure they didn't concede, just to try and stop the rot and what had been happening.
And what a great jump. Rutter flicking it on. Somerville. And just tried to flick the ball to the side of Gunn. Got it all wrong. He was under pressure and he had to hit the shot early, and it was saved. Norwich will break, try and get the ball forward quickly themselves. With Sainz down the left-hand touchline. Sliding challenge to try and win the ball back was mistimed. And that's going to be a yellow card, is it?
Yeah, Rutter, I think it was, who just came back, and Sainz just offered that little bit of an injection of pace. His positive front foot, he gets the ball, his first thought is running forward, and it's about getting players up with him. Now they've got a set piece, Norwich on that left-hand side. Can they put Leeds under pressure?
So a free kick that will be taken on the Norwich left. It's 7 yards outside the penalty area. It's only a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. And there are 5 in canary yellow inside the penalty area. Stacey, I beg your pardon, is lurking with intent on the edge of the D. Gibson is inside the box. Centre-half partner Shane Duffy is in there as well. Right arm raised above the head of Giannoulis, is going to fire this in. It's a left-footed delivery. Very deep, easily claimed by Meslier. Wasn't quite deep enough to get Gibson round the back, and it ended up coming to the hands of the goalkeeper in the middle of the 6-yard box. Bowls it out quickly. Leeds have it with Kamara, and they still have a 3-0 lead with 12 minutes gone in the second half.
Yeah, and all the opportunities, however small, that Norwich have had to put Leeds under pressure, they've not taken them. They've allowed Meslier to just pick that out of the sky, not put any pressure whatsoever. But they've got to go for it, Norwich, and going for it means that you leave less players at the back, you leave your goalkeeper open, which is what Gunn has done really well. It could have been 5 or 6 had it not been for his saves in the second half, but they're not getting anything from the other end when they get up the pitch, Norwich.
Boy, Sainz into the feet of Ashley Barnes. He turns, but Ampadu was just waiting, knew that Barnes was going to turn to try and lay it off for Stacey, and as soon as he moved his right foot towards the ball, Ampadu was there to be able to block the pass. Sarah back to Nunez, and he'll bring it forward from the edge of his own penalty area. Goes forward into the feet of Kenny McLean. Nunez to his left-hand side for Gibson. McLean again. Rumbustious challenge coming in from Kamara. Has fouled him, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Norwich just outside their own penalty area.
Leeds' press is so good, and they lock right on, and Norwich have have not had the ability or technique to escape that press whatsoever, probably a couple of times in the whole of the game. You know, that Leeds have decided to lock on high, you know, lock on in those central areas, and they've won the ball back so many times.
Well, there's something I haven't seen before. Ilham Meslier retrieved something from inside his own penalty area and raced out when the ball had gone out for that free kick to the referee, and I thought, what's that? Has something been thrown on? No, it's the bottle of spray that marks where the free kicks are taken had fallen off its little mounting point on the belt of Jared Gillett, or whatever keeps them on. And Meslier giving that to him, the referee looking a little bit shamefaced, and we're all in a position that we can continue again. Here's Nunez, midway between the edge of his own penalty area and the halfway line. Ball from him towards Sarah. Back to Ben Gibson, the former Middlesbrough player, who's turning and almost turning into trouble. And then he plays it out towards Gary Sarah again. Long left-footed diagonal from him, and Stacey's going to race onto it. Rowe's gone down off the ball. Stacey is there. He's got it. Right-hand side of the area. Nobody in the penalty area for him to try and hit. He did wrap his right foot around it. Barnes did his best to get there, but Ampadu was there first to be able to clear.
Yeah, that's what they've not done enough of. That's what I'm saying about playing in the right areas. You know, take Leeds over to one side and then the switch. Stacey's always there.
We played an hour. It's 3-0 to Leeds United, as it's been since the 40-minute mark. Kenny McLean, the Scottish international. Quite a few players losing their footing. I don't know whether there's a little bit of dew on the ground.
Listen, they've warmed up, they've had a first half. You recognise what footwear you've got on.
Duffy getting it forward here for Stacey. Now Sarah, Kamara, playing it forward, and Rowe has caught him. Now, he's already on a yellow card. Got booked in the first 45 minutes for diving, and he caught Kamara there, and he's just got to keep his temper under check. Jared Gillett's having a word with him, but a lecture's going to suffice.
Yeah, we're just watching the replay, and yeah, there's not that much in it. Kamara just throws himself to the floor. He sort of body checked him, just caught him as he ran past, but just needs to be careful, Rowe. And I think that the referees I think for that second yellow card, I do think the threshold is a little bit higher, particularly there's a silly one for a dive for his first yellow card, but I think he just caught him, didn't he, as he went past, and because he spun round, landed on the floor, the reaction of the crowd, nobody wants a yellow card, but I think the referees ref this well.
He's still on his knees, Kamara.
He's been winded, won't he, I would suspect. I think he just caught across his chest.
Norwich are going to make a double change, and we're going to see Sam McCallum and Christian Fastnack, the Swiss international. And there's a very encouraging hug given to Fastnack by David Wagner, who has got experience in winning playoffs in the past with Huddersfield back in 2017, but they didn't win any of the 3 games and brilliantly made it through. A 0-0 draw at home, a 1-1 draw away with an own goal, and then a 0-0 draw in the final before another penalty shootout victory against Reading. Since the turn of the century, any team that has got 27 wins, all 90 points, has been promoted. Leeds United finishing this season with both 90 points and 27 wins, hoping that run will continue. The last team to get 90 points and not go up, Sunderland, back in 1998, and they lost the playoff final on penalties. A game against Charlton, one of our esteemed colleagues that took a part in, but I won't mention Mickey Gray by name. The ball goes out towards the right hand side. There's Ruta forward towards Somerville. Somerville with his low centre of gravity was caught. Referee plays a good advantage. Another sliding challenge comes in from McLean, and it's a free kick to Leeds, about 9 yards outside the penalty area, right of centre. Not a dissimilar position to the one that the Gruev put in, and his name being chanted by the Leeds fans who want to see him have another crack at it.
Yeah, I mean, Sam McCallum's come on and gone left back in place of Shanulis, and then McLean's gone into that left centre-back position and Gibson's gone off and just putting Fasnacht on, who didn't look particularly happy about coming on. Yeah, go and do your stuff. 60 odd minutes, you're 3-0 down away from home, but they need an injection of something.
So just to confirm, Fasnacht and McCallum for Giannoulis and Gibson, with McLean dropping in at centre half. So again, the referee, I beg your pardon, the Norwich goalkeeper has lined up a two-man wall. Somerville leading it. It is bent in left-footed from Gruev, headed back in by Ampadu, and then headed away inside the 6-yard box by Duffy. Kamara continuing his run round the corner, and the ball has gone out of play for a goal kick. That was where Angus Gunn was expecting the first one to go in the 7th minute. The left-footed clip ball deep towards the far post. Instead, he went for the near post with a shot. That time, he has delivered it deep towards that far post area for Ampadu's run.
Completely caught out for that first Leeds goal, and that was the start of the onslaught, wasn't it? And Angus Gunn making sure he concentrated then, but he didn't really need to because it was put far post that time, and Leeds just seeing out the remaining time, really making sure they keep control and keep Norwich at arm's length. And Norwich just huffing and puffing but getting absolutely nowhere.
In possession 60-40 to Leeds, exactly the same as it was in the first leg. The difference being that it's 15 shots to 3 tonight in Leeds' favour. We only saw 3 attempts on target between the sides in the first leg. We've had 10 tonight in the opening 65 minutes, and 3 of them have gone in. Ampadu back defending, gets the ball back to his goalkeeper Meslier, and the Frenchman booms a long clearance over halfway. Duffy with an easy job of climbing over. Willie Gnonto can head the ball forward through the midfield for Norwich, and Kenny McLean strides forward here from centre half. Out of the left-hand side for McCallum. A chance for McCallum to deliver. Not the worst ball by any stretch of the imagination. Chested out for Sainz, whose right-footed shot is blocked. And that's much better from Norwich. Leeds clear, put it out of play for a throw.
Now, I won't say that Leeds panic when Norwich put the ball into the box, but they don't look comfortable, and Norwich have not done it enough. You can even hear it in the crowd. The crowd are really happy, they're all jubilant, but when Norwich get into the final third and actually put something like a good ball into the box, then it just causes a few murmurings.
Dan James has been called back. He's going to be on in a moment for Leeds. You're listening to Leeds against Norwich in the EFL Championship playoff semi-final on Talksport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Sarah. Sainz having to stretch the receiver. Slightly misdirected ball from McCallum. But Sainz has done well, having brought it under control, and now will bulldoze his way through. Barnes trying to backheel the ball back into his path. The referee's given a free kick to Leeds for an offside against Rowe. Norwich thought they should have had a free kick for a foul on Sainz as he was blocked off.
Sainz has been Norwich's best player, and he's only started the second half. Lots of determination, and he was taken out, but I think when he played the ball before he was taken out, there was a Norwich player offside, but that's positive from him. He's trying to carry the whole team on his back.
Yeah, Barnes was the man that was actually flagged offside, and then Rowe was offside behind him when he played it on eventually as well. Ball away from McLean, brought down in the centre of midfield by Leeds United to get Somerville going. Somerville to his left-hand side for Gnonto. Willie Gnonto parried by the goalkeeper, back in from Firpo, and Chris Somerville is in there to make it 4. And if there was even the merest scintilla of doubt, that has now been evaporated. Leeds United are in the playoff final, and they have been quite magnificent tonight. Norwich have been sent packing in devastating fashion, and Crescencio Somerville makes it 4. This a vintage night for Leeds. They haven't had too many in the playoffs. This one they will never forget.
Yeah, brilliant again from Leeds. Somerville in space. I think it's Gnonto who had the shot. He came back to Firpo, clever as well. Instead of having a shot from a really tight angle, he just side foot it across the 6-yard box. Somerville was there. He deserves that goal as well. Somerville, he's been incredible again tonight. Another incredible season.
Somerville scoring his 21st goal of the campaign. 3 of them have come against Norwich. And that's only his 2nd goal in his last 8 games here at Elland Road. William Yonto playing a part in that goal. And that was his last contribution. He's off. Dan James, some player to be able to bring off the bench at Championship level. The man who scored 10 in his last 15 matches here at Elland Road comes on for the final 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I think again it's the difference between Leeds and a lot of the teams near the top of the Championship is that firepower. Dan James would get in any other team in the Championship, probably teams in the Premier League as well, and he comes on as sub. He's performed really, really well this season, and most of the time made do with a substitute appearance.
And with wonderful self-deprecation, a chorus of Leeds are falling apart again. Here's Somerville making his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area, and then trying to twist and turn and get away from Stacey, who's fouled it. Norwich have long since known their fate. It must be very difficult for the players.
Absolutely.
In the 48th game of a league campaign, effectively, to do more than go through the motions when you know that you're out and your season is over.
Yeah, I think they knew the inevitable when they're in the team coach coming into Elland Road, to be honest, the way that Norwich have played. But, you know, this is excruciating for everybody associated with Norwich, and they're just getting frustrated, and you can't blame them either.
Kamara goes back for Ampadu. Gruev. Now towards Gray. Leeds leading 4-0 on the night and on aggregate here against Norwich City. A team that finishes 3rd in the Championship. Such a good record at getting promoted. Far the best record. 9 of the last 19 playoff winners have been the side that have finished 3rd in the regular season. And Leeds hoping to extend that to 10 out of 20. Scarves being whipped around the heads with real fervour and pace now. A proper party atmosphere. What a way to sign off for another season of football at Elland Road, knowing that there's that date at Wembley a week on Sunday to come.
I think Daniel Farke will be looking at this now and thinking, right, don't want any injuries now. Right, we're going to be going to Wembley. Let's not get carried away in the remainder of this game. Let's keep my best players so that they're ready for Wembley and they're not going to get themselves injured.
So, with that in mind, the potential to make a number of changes off the bench. The subs we haven't seen so far: Cresswell, Cooper, Anthony, Shackleton, Gelhardt, Robertson, Joseph. And I think a few of those are going to be getting match time very shortly. Given away by Sara in the midfield. Just a little reverse ball through the midfield that was easily picked up by Ruta. Stacey committed himself and did well. Dived in, timed his challenge well. Fastnack then has caught Ruta off the ball. Fastnack hasn't really been able to get involved in the game since coming on. Norwich pump it forward long towards Barnes. He's beaten to it by Gruev, who's gone down. Roden it is, I beg your pardon, who's gone down. And it's going to be a free kick to Leeds. And the opportunity to make some changes, actually. Mateo Joseph, former England under-20 international, now a Spanish under-21 international. And he's going to be the first cab off the rank. He's going to be coming on very shortly. He won't be the only one. And more action on that Leeds bench.
Do you know what, Jim? I think that Joseph, when he played against Chelsea in the Cup, he played really, really well. And when they've been struggling for goals in those sort of the last remaining games of the Championship season, Leeds, the fans have been crying out for him. Why is he not playing? Why is he not getting more of a chance? Because he plays so well when he plays. But obviously, I think he has those players he trusts. Daniel Farke, the likes of Perot, the likes of Ruta, and obviously Patrick Bamford when he's fit.
Yeah, he scored twice in that FA Cup tie at Chelsea. He also scored within seconds of coming on at Watford. He's never scored here at Elland Road. He's going to be on in a moment. So too Connor Roberts and Jayden Anthony. So it'll be a triple change incoming for Leeds United and Daniel Farke, who lead 4-0. And tomorrow we'll find out who they're playing. Southampton, West Brom. Build up at 7 for an 8 o'clock kickoff at St Mary's down on the Hampshire coast tomorrow night. Leeds on the front foot again. Another right-footed shot comes in. This one from James, and it's blocked and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Leeds right, and that is the cue for the changes. So Ruta comes off, having scored only his second goal at Ellen Road tonight. Somerville is coming off as well, scorer of the fourth. And the final player to make way is Joel Peru. So the three most attack-minded goal scorers tonight are off: Peru, Ruta and Somerville. And they'll be replaced by Roberts, Joseph and Anthony.
Yeah, I did say that I think that Daniel Farke will be looking at this now and gone, the more frustrated these Norwich players get, he doesn't want anybody to get injured. It's a squad game and they've got one of the strongest benches in the Championship, Leeds, and why not use it? It's been a terrific night for this football club, and Joseph come on and try and get himself on the score sheet.
Well, I touched earlier on Kenny McLean's previous playoff experience coming with Arbroath and the difference in atmosphere from there to here. Jaden Anthony's played in the playoffs before for Weymouth. And now, 4 years on, he comes on into the white-hot cauldron of Ellen Road for a Championship playoff semi-final.
I think it just means as well Archie Gray goes into central midfield. So Roberts has come on that right-hand side.
So he's playing on the right. Jaden Anthony's playing high on the left. Joseph through the middle. James is on the right. So the Leeds United side now, probably worth going through it all because it's shuffled around a bit. Melier in goal. It's Roberts, Roden, Ampadu and Firpo. Then in midfield, Gruev and Kamara still. Then on the left-hand side is Anthony. Gray at 10. James on the right. And Joseph through the middle. That's a pretty young team by and large. And one that is having the night of its life. The ball is over on the Leeds United right. They're playing out very ably from the back. Roden down towards Firpo, who will control it on the left back position. Works infield to the more experienced Kamara. And now down towards Kamara again. Just a little 1-2 infield. Down towards Junior Firpo. Firpo's got it just shy of halfway. Joseph drops short to meet it. Spins and fires the ball out towards the right-hand side. Real brisk ball that Roberts tried to control. It's a very difficult task for him. And then as it's played forward looking for Ashley Barnes, he finds himself sandwiched between Gruev and Roden. And the referee just tells him pretty disdainfully to get up and get on with it. Leeds will bring it forward again. Joseph will try to work the ball out to the right-hand side for Gray. Roberts has won it back. And now another sliding challenge comes in. Is that Boyer Sainz over on that far touchline on Roberts? And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Leeds on halfway. 76 gone, Leeds 4, Norwich 0 here on Talksport. And here's Lucy Ward.
Yeah, I think Norwich is starting to lose their heads. Various players that are remonstrating with the referee, and this has been an absolute hiding for them. It'll be embarrassing in terms of the effect on their egos, but I think Leeds have just shown the dominance, reflected the dominance really that we've seen throughout this Championship season. Yes, they did wobble at the end of the regular season, Leeds, but I think that they've got themselves back on it, and just when it was needed in this second leg. Nobody in Leeds, of any Leeds persuasion, expected it to be this comfortable.
Ball out of play off Stacey, and there were those of us that didn't share the all-pervading optimism of May and thought that this could go right to the wire, myself included. I certainly didn't see this coming. I thought that Norwich, for all the fact that their away form has not been good, I thought that they would have enough about them to be able to go some way towards quietening the crowd and make life difficult. As soon as that Gruev free kick went in on 7 minutes, the script was written.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Norwich players as they came onto the pitch before the warm-up when they just arrived, and they were looking around this place and thinking, this is going to be a difficult game, and they never really recovered from that. They never really had the belief. You could see it in the players, the lack of belief that they could come here and win.
Duffy slices the ball away. It's out of play for another throw, which will be taken by Leeds. A reminder that we've got the other two playoff finals coming up over the course of this weekend. Bolton Oxford Saturday at 4:15, and then Crewe Crawley Sunday at 1 o'clock over on Talksport 2. Also on Sunday, the conclusion of this epic Premier League season. And if Arsenal are going to win the title for the first time in 20 years, you will only be able to hear it on Talksport. Game kicks off at 4. They're at home to Everton. If they win, Manchester City have to win to deny them the title. You'll hear news of every goal as it goes in over the course of the afternoon. Sam Matterface talking you through the action from the Emirates. Arsenal against Everton on Sunday, kicking off at 4. We've also got a stack of other games as well, many of them on the Talksport app, and the details are on the app for you. But let me also flag up Tottenham's trip to Sheffield United. Spurs get a positive result in that game, and they will cement 5th place. The Sheffield United Spurs. Talksport 2, 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. As I mentioned, every goal as it goes in, live on the Talksport network on Sunday at the end of this Premier League season. And is it going to be Leeds, Southampton, or West Brom that are up in the Premier League with them all next season? And that playoff final is a week Sunday the 26th, and that also is live here on Talksport. The here and now, Norwich have possession at the back with Duffy. Comes down towards Stacey. Sorensen's going to be coming on in a moment for the Canaries. And we're going to see Sidney van Hooijdonk as well. So a double change being made. Ashley Barnes is coming off. And ironic cheers for him as he leaves the field. Said earlier he's cast in the role of pantomime villain tonight. And Barnes comes off and Rowe comes off as well. Sorensen on and Van Hooijdonk.
Yeah, Ashley Barnes just biting his tongue there. This is not nice for a player. You know, he's trying to work his way back to being fit and playing in this game as such an experienced player, but it just hasn't worked out for any Norwich player, and now he's been substituted and the Leeds fans heckling him.
So Sorensen comes on, the Danish central midfielder, for the 200th game of his career. And Sidney van Hooijdonk on as well. Dutchman, son of Pierre, on loan from Bologna. Just one goal in his last 27 games, which was a Coppa Italia tie back in October. He's yet to score in 10 previous substitute appearances for Norwich. He hasn't started for the club as yet. We're in the final 10 minutes. Johnny Rowe, the other player that went off. And another round of applause from the passionate Leeds support as Liam Cooper gets ready, and he's going to be the last Leeds sub to come on.
Yeah, just having the luxury of allowing Liam Cooper to say goodbye to Ellen Rhodes. He's been a terrific servant. Liam Cooper, club captain, you know, captain for a lot of years when it was difficult, when the owners weren't that good at this place. And now he's just been allowed just probably about 10 minutes with additional time to just get the adulation of the crowd, really. And what a circumstance for Leeds to be in, to be able to do that.
It's going to be his 284th Leeds appearance for a man, I think I'm right in saying, please correct me if I'm wrong, has played under more Leeds managers than any other player in history, which speaks of his longevity, but clearly it speaks of the revolving door to the manager's office under the previous regime as well.
He has seen the best and worst of Leeds in recent times. He's seen the best under Bielsa, the worst of times under Massimo Cellino when he was in charge of this place. So it's certainly fitting that he gets this moment, that he gets this crowd singing his name, and, you know, terrific servant for Leeds, and he'll be on his way, I would suspect, in the summer.
Now Gruev's coming off. Massive ovation for him. I mean, they're all on their feet to applaud the arrival of Cooper, but they've been happy to put their hands above their head and give Gruev the departure he deserves. Superb goal from the Bulgarian tonight. His first in Leeds United colours. And a great reception for Cooper as he comes on. And first thing that happens, Ethan Ampadu hands him the captain's armband. Now Leeds will restart play with a long throw taken by Roberts. Hurled it 30 yards back inside his own half so that Cooper gets an early touch. Cooper to Ampadu, back for Meslier, and now Ampadu will be able to bring the ball forward. In towards the feet of Joseph. Joseph spinning the ball down towards Junior Firpo. Then ricochets through the midfield, but Gray is there for Leeds. Roberts makes a run on the overlap down the right-hand side. Chance for James to deliver. Cross was a little low and flat, and Kenny McLean with a diving headed clearance gets it away towards halfway. Be picked up again there by Joe Roden. And the one-time Swansea defender finds Ampadu, and he goes back for Cooper. So Ampadu's moved forward into midfield. That's how they shuffle things around, with Cooper coming on for Gruev. Ampadu just moving forward 10 yards. So it's now Cooper alongside Joe Roden. And if Cooper scores, they're on the pitch.
Absolutely. And I just think that could in the wildest dreams that this semi-final second leg would end up like this for the Leeds fans, but they need to enjoy it while they can, because Wembley will be a completely different story. Whoever it is that they face, it'll be a lot more difficult than facing this Norwich team at Ellen Road.
And because of the style of play and the pressing that Leeds have, does the famed big pitch at Wembley maybe cause a few problems for them? Will they be able to play their natural game there?
Well, I mean, you looked at Southampton, the last game of the season. Southampton absolutely outplayed Leeds here at Ellen Road, so they'll be hoping it isn't Southampton, because there's just something that they've got over this Leeds team. But it will be different. It's at Wembley, a big occasion. You know, they feel comfortable at Ellen Road now, this Leeds team, but you know, all they can do tonight is do what they've done, and they've absolutely taken Norwich apart. Norwich have absolutely had one.
Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be something we'll be talking about tomorrow night, but if you look at the four teams that finished in the playoff positions and just had a little mini table between the four, Southampton picked up 14 points from their 6 games, Leeds and West Brom 7 and Norwich 5. So there's a line of form that suggests that Southampton, if they make it through against West Brom, would be the favourites. But it is a big if. The ball play for Joseph will chase. McLean across the cover. He's still going through it. Back towards Gunn. It looks as though it might just have gone out of play for a corner. And it certainly has now as he slices his clearance away. I think he probably had before he kicked it clear from McLean's very brisk back pass. And Leeds have a corner as they look for number 5.
Yeah, I think there's 17 points difference between these two teams. And on the pitch tonight, it looks more like 70.
James is going to take the corner. It's Leeds' 8th of the game. And Cooper's made his way forward. There will be no more popular goal scorer than he. And he's waiting by the penalty spot. McLean's keeping an eye on him. It's in towards the near post. It's much the worst of the corners that we've seen tonight. And even the odd boom as it was easily cleared. And James picks up the next ball from the cone and throws it back for Kamara. It is a Leeds throw, but it's midway inside the Norwich half. Junior Firpo's got it, throws it back towards Cooper. Cooper to Roden to Kamara. Leeds just still continuing to string the passes together. We've got 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Might be a fair bit of stoppage time to be added, and it's 4-0 to Leeds United. Kamara playing it forward. Joseph to Jayden Anthony. Out towards the Leeds United right now for Connor Roberts, who's put under immediate pressure by McCallum, and it was telling pressure as well because Boya Sainz is able to bring the ball away. Sainz only gets so far before a strong Ampadu challenge dispossesses him. But Norwich have it again in the heart of the midfield. Nunez, the Chilean, playing it back to Sorensen. And now he goes out towards the left-hand side for Norwich to just desperately try and get themselves into a position where they might be able to sneak a consolation goal to score the last goal of their season. But opportunities have been so isolated. Just the one real good chance that they've been able to create tonight. They only had one the other night. The ball on the left-hand side of the penalty area. They will bring it forward here with Fasnacht. Fasnacht laying it back to McCallum. Chance for him to deliver. Left-footed ball in towards the near post. And it's a shot that goes some way wide. Disappointing effort from Van Hooydonk. and out of play for a goal kick that Meslier will take. 88 gone, Leeds 4, Norwich 0.
I do think that from the 60-odd minute that Norwich were willing this game to finish, willing this game to end. I think that the power of this stadium beat them before they even started, and that's not good from a Norwich point of view, but Leeds have certainly used it to their advantage.
Meslier to take the goal kick. Long left-footed clearance from him. Your chance to react to this performance. Leeds fans, how confident are you going to Wembley? The Sports Bar open for business. 03717 2233 44 is the number to call. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining. Ball's with Cooper on the edge of his own penalty area. Play down towards Junior Firpo. James motioning that he wants the ball just chipped over the top of Stacey for him to run onto. And coming forward from the left-hand side is Archie Gray. Gray flicking it brilliantly around the corner for James, who tried to ride the challenge which came in. It was a genuine attempt from Duffy to win the ball. He genuinely didn't get there. And it is a free kick on the left-hand side of the box.
Yeah, it was good play by Archie Gray. Physically he's still growing, but he manages the ball and deals with the ball so well. Just allowed Dan James for that run.
Well, there's a public appeal for the Leeds fans not to enter the field at play at full time. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Leeds with this chance then to set the seal on a quite brilliant night. Free kick which James will take just outside the left-hand side of the area. It's hit in towards goal. He went for goal quite clearly. It wasn't one of those teased balls towards the top right-hand corner of the far post. He's tried to blast that in underneath the bar. He's put it over. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. Now we're about to go into stoppage time, and Norwich fans will be praying what they would give to see a number 1 on that board. It is only 2. It probably should be 6. 2 minutes left in Norwich's season. Stacey playing the ball through the midfield here for Sorensen. And he'll work it out towards the Norwich left-hand side. The Wembley songs are starting all around us. We think of a club the size of Leeds, visitors to Wembley so rarely. We talked about that 2008 playoff final where Leeds just didn't turn up, beaten by Doncaster, who thoroughly deserved the win that day. It's the only time that Leeds have been at Wembley for 28 years.
Yeah, I mean, they could have filled the Wembley Stadium themselves. Donny didn't really have that many fans there, but they still won, and that's what I'm saying. It's not always about the fans. Tonight it has been. That energy, and this stadium has scared Norwich to death. They've got to make that at Wembley as well, and it'll be a lot tougher for Leeds, but they've got to enjoy this night.
In the final minute of football to be played at Ellen Road this season, and Leeds are leaving with a bang. Ampadu plays the ball forward, but it's easily cut out. Norwich can bring it forward. Daniel Farker, even at 4-0 up in the 92nd minute, shows his displeasure at the way that possession was turned over so cheaply. Ball goes back to Fastnacht, and now to be worked by McLean through the centre circle. Norwich still looking for the consolation goal. Played down towards Stacey. Firpo's going to be there first. Shepherd's the ball out of play for a goal kick, and when Meslier takes it, that might well be the last kick of the night.
Yeah, we'll do look at Leeds. Every single person in here of a Leeds persuasion is enjoying themselves and enjoy every single minute. It's exactly what they dreamt of. They didn't believe it had happened. 4-0, completely convincing. Probably, I think that first half will be Leeds' best half of the season, just when they needed it.
Leeds United are marching on together. Destination Wembley. Their best ever nights of playoff football. They have dismantled Norwich, beating them by 4-0. Off to the perfect start. They never look back and had has this old ground ever seen such a raucous, joyful atmosphere since the days of the First Division title back in 1992 when they were champions of England. What a night for Leeds United. They move on. Norwich simply with one to forget. A terrible night for them, as bad as it's been over the course of the season. No sense of timing to produce such a lacklustre performance. But credit to Leeds, Grued, Peru, Ruta and Somerville. 0-0 in the first leg, 4-0 to Leeds tonight, and it was even easier than the scoreline suggests.
Leeds United marching on to Wembley. The nerves, the tension coming into the evening have lifted off the shoulders of Daniel Farke and his players, and all of the faithful inside Ellen Road know that they're one step away from righting the wrongs of relegation last season. One step away from the place that they feel this great club belongs, rubbing shoulders with the biggest and best clubs in English football. One step away from the Premier League. Sunday, May the 26th, Leeds will face Southampton or West Brom in the £170 million match under the arch. Live and exclusive on Talksport, your home of the EFL. And Kaiser Chiefs rings out across Ellen Road as it does after a big result. Ricky Wilson, of course, our colleague over on Virgin Radio, he's going to be celebrating this one as well. And I predict probably quite apt, because the celebrations will go on long into the night. Sports Bar is on the way. Norwich fans, what about that? Have you seen enough to know that your club needs big change? And Leeds fans, is this finally going to be your year in the playoffs? Give us a call, 03717 223344. Lucy Ward, have Leeds United rediscovered their soul tonight?
Yeah, I do think that the credit to Daniel Farke, because he recognised the sliding form coming into the playoffs, so he played it very, very safe away at Norwich, knowing the power of this place, right? It can sometimes work in your favour, sometimes not. And I watched those Norwich players. They were completely Ellen Roaded. They were absolutely put off by this stadium. Before they even started, they were beaten. You could see it. And because of this atmosphere, it helped Leeds, rather than sometimes it goes the other way. But, you know, they absolutely steamrolled at Norwich. And even right at the end, they allowed Liam Cooper, like a testimonial, to come on, like your granddad coming on for the last 5 minutes to celebrate.
Bit hot.
And it's from Norwich fans' point of view, they must be absolutely gutted.
Well, the Norwich players have just gone over and given an incredibly apologetic applause to their travelling support after the performance they put in here tonight. All of the Leeds players, all of the Leeds staff huddled in the centre circle here, and it's absolutely bouncing. Nobody has left their seats inside Ellen Road. They're soaking up every moment here. The noise is as loud now as it was before the game when the players came out. They expected a lot tonight, and the players delivered for them. And Leeds are heading to Wembley. What impressed you most, though, about the way that Leeds went about their business?
Yeah, they had a game plan, the way that they want to play. They're positive going forwards, and they were helped by defensive mistakes from Norwich, getting themselves on top. They knew that if they scored early in this place, this crowd would carry them on to win, and that's exactly what's happened. They were diligent, they got the confidence back, and the best players showed up, and I think that's so important for Leeds.
Just on the Norwich City camp, what happens with David Wagner now? We know how important the final season of parachute payments is for clubs that have come down from the Premier League. That's next year for Norwich. It also increases your chances greatly of promotion. So the year after that, when they don't have any, well, they would want to be in the Premier League and not in the Championship. Is he the man to put them together to challenge for the Championship next year in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because, you know, the fans of Norwich have not really taken to him at the start, but they did well after Christmas. But I do think they've been beaten by a very, very good team. Leeds 17 points in front of them in the league, and it showed, every single point showed tonight. But David Wagner, the reason that they brought him in is to play that rock and roll football that he's used to, and he hasn't really produced that for Norwich yet.
We'll hear from him and Daniel Farke very soon. And Daniel Farke, by the way, standing in the middle of the pitch with a young Archie Gray, 18 years old, who knows what this football club is about. It is in his blood. He's separated from the rest of his teammates, and he's just soaking it all in. And we don't know what his future will be. We know that there are big clubs all over the world who would be interested in his signature. He's one game away from playing in the Premier League, and he will want to do that in a Leeds United shirt. But this could be his greatest moment in a Leeds United shirt if they don't win at Wembley.
Absolutely. I mean, his dad Andy played, his granddad Frankie played, his great uncle Eddie played, his cousins played. You know, that is such a good grounding for a young player, but he's got everything. You know, and I hope he's at Leeds next season if they get to the Premier League. I don't think he'll be here if they're still in the Championship. Big season for him.
One of the issues is whether they go up or not. They've got big money to pay. £190 million Leeds United owe to clubs for player transfers. Ultimately, if they do go up to the Premier League, a big chunk of that would obviously be paid off by the riches that come with being in the top flight. But Daniel Farke is beckoning Archie Gray to celebrate with their fans. He's alone at the other end of the pitch from all of his teammates. Strange situation for him, but I'm sure it is a very special moment. He just waved over to the stand that we're in, where I'm sure there's plenty of his family and friends who've been watching along. It's not just about him tonight, as we see Leeds United's players going out there onto the pitch and celebrating with friends and family as well. They'll want to do the same thing on the hallowed turf of Wembley Stadium. Do you think they'll care, Lucy, who they face? Would they rather Southampton or West Brom?
I think at this moment they don't care, but I think that, you know, that just the way that Southampton have played against them this season, Leeds, particularly in the game a couple of weeks ago, Southampton will be a problem for them. But if they play like that, I think they'll beat either of West Brom or Southampton.
Two little ones out there with a number 6 on their back, scooped up by the club captain Liam Cooper. His youngsters, he's not quite a granddad yet, but he's going to soak up every moment here as well, if it is to be his last moment here at a club that he has served so well. And he applauds all of the crowd here who've been singing his name every moment he's been warming up, and when he went out there on the pitch, you saw just the reception that he got. He'll go down as a club legend. It has been a fantastic evening.
He has, yeah. I mean, I know Liam really well. I worked with him for a few years when I worked at the club, and I know what it means to him to be club captain. And this reception is fantastic. He'll remember it for the rest of his career. He's been up with Bielsa. He'll want to go up with Daniel Farke just to finish his career, this part of his career with Leeds.
He surely will. There's one more game at least for Liam Cooper in a Leeds United shirt. Will they face Southampton or West Brom? They meet tomorrow night, live and exclusive here on Talksport. Remember, we have 2 playoff finals for you this weekend. Saturday, 4:15 on Talksport. It's Bolton against Oxford United. Talksport 2 on Sunday for the League 2 playoff final between Crewe and Crawley Town. We'll have reaction here at Ellen Road shortly from Daniel Farke and David Wagner on a night where they will have very contrasting moods. A scintillating night. Leeds at their brilliant best, tearing Norwich to shreds in the first half with goals from Gruev, Pirou, Anru to Somerville, and in the fourth after the break. Norwich never laid a glove. They'll be playing Championship football next season, but will Leeds be joining them in the second tier? They'll find out in Wembley in 10 days' time as Leeds return to the home of football for the first time in 16 years. You can have your say tonight, 03717 223344. It is finished here on Talksport. Leeds 4, Norwich 0.